good. Hey, Abbott! Who remembers Abbott and Costello? In my opinion, the absolute best comedy duo ever. 40s and 50s. They brought vaudeville to life. They were on the radio. They were on the TV. They were in movies. They had a huge impact on my life. Mom and Dad divorced when I was 13, was when the divorce was final. I had decided, well, at that point in Michigan, maybe still today, if you were 13 or older, you could decide who you wanted to live with. My sister, who was a year and a half younger, she had no choice. She was going with Mama. And I looked at that and I'm like, that's just not fair to leave Dad all by himself. So I decided to stay with Dad. And things were rough. It was a hard divorce on him. It wasn't something he had wanted. And our bond grew as it was just the two of us. Kind of during the week, my sister would join us on the weekend, or I would go to my mom's on the weekend. But eventually, Dad started adventuring out. And Dad joined a singles club. And we thought, well, this is good. This is good. And so he was starting to come out of his slump, if you will. And he came home and announced that he was really excited about something. And so my sister and I were like, well, what, Dad? He's like, there's a talent show for the singles club. And I said, well, Dad, that's great. What are you thinking about doing? What are we going to do? I said, we? Daddy, you got a mouse in your pocket? What is this we thing? He says, well, we are going to do Abbott and Costello, Who's on First? Daddy, I say again, do you have a mouse in your pocket? Because I don't know about this standing up in front of a bunch of people I don't know to do Abbott, who again? No, Who's on First? Okay, Abbott and Costello, Who's on First? So he went to the library, and he got this thing from the library, Chloe. It's about this big. It was made out of vinyl. You could take that vinyl disc and put it on a record player, and the inside cover, it had all of the words to the full Who's on First. Well, Dad was determined, to say the least. He didn't give up either.
Still doesn't.
And still doesn't. And when he set his mind to doing something, by gosh, we were going to do it. I can thank him that I can do multiplication relatively easily because I sat there next to him doing multiplication tables and flashcards. And if I didn't get all the way through, we went back through them over and over because practice doesn't make perfect, but practice makes good. And so that was Dad's theory. And so we would practice over and over again. My sister, Michelle, she wanted to be part of the show too, and Dad was like, you can hold the cue cards. I said, Daddy, what are cue cards? Well, we'll put the words on cue cards and your sister can, yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. She can do that because I was a little bit nervous. Daddy's like, you're going to be fine. Night of the performance, and we have to go down to the church, and those butterflies, they were just a fluttering and going crazy. Daddy, I can't do this, Daddy. He said, you're going to be fine. You get up there, and once we start talking, it's just you and me. We've been practicing for weeks. You're going to be fine. Daddy, I don't know if I can stand up in front of a room full of strangers and just talk. He's like, you're going to be fine. So we did. We successfully carried off Who's on First, did the entire show. Little did I know that 40 years ago, thank you, daughter, for sharing.
You're welcome.
40 years ago, that it would have such a huge impact. But my daddy knew. My daddy knew that all I had to do was get up there and get in front of people and be willing to share. And so when you see my daddy, you can thank him, because if it had not been that 40 years ago, I wouldn't be here, and you all wouldn't be here. So you can see, Daddy truly does know best. All right, we're starting to get some names in here.